Овој панел е ставен токму на второ место поради големото значење на балансот помеѓу родовиот баланс во енергетиката. Зошто е значаен? Затоа што многу години наназад традиционално се размислуваше дека енергетиката е типично машка професија. Овде со моите панелисти имаме голема задача да ги разбиеме овие табуа и да видиме дека во сите енергетски компании токму е потребна родова еднаквост. Панелистите кои се мои гости денеска во овој панел Women in Energy се луѓе кои дале досега огромен придонес во работата и заекнувањето на родовата еднаквост како во енергетските компании, но исто така и во општеството. Денеска со мене се господинот Петер Стефан, председател на управниот одбор на ЕВА на Македонија. Потоа тука со мене е представник од амбасадата на Соединетите Американски држави, шеф на одделот за политика и економија, Shannon Reem. Потоа госпоѓата Verica Uzunova, председател на надзорниот одбор на ЕСМ, Reem Hamdan, заменик генерален директор на електродистрибуција компанијата од Кралството Јордан, и се разбира Ellereit, директор на канцеларијата Friedrich-Ebert во Македонија. Кога зборуваме за жените во енергетика, секогаш зборуваме дека не постојат женски и машки професии, но секогаш се соочуваме со фактот, барем така досега беше, дека некои од работните задачи во енергетиката не можат да ги работат жени. Новото време на дигитализација и секако на нови технологии, мислам дека ја отвара вратата на сите позиции да го имаме и понежниот пол. Денеска јас прво ќе му дадам збор токму на господинот Петер Стефан, не затоа што он е малцинство во оваа група со нас 5 господи, туку заради друго, затоа што неговата компанија последните години работи сериозно со многу активности за подобрување на улогата на, да кажеме, за подобрување на балансот, родовиот баланс не само во неговата компанија, туку и воопшто во државата. Господине Петер Стефан, верувате ли вие во джендер баланс?
Of course I do, otherwise I would not be sitting here. And non-discriminacy has to go in both directions, so thank you very much for being the first panelist speaking here. I hope I don't have to be the last one, because I don't want to have the last word on such a topic. First of all, let me just thank you for the organizational committee that they put such a topic on the agenda of such an important energy forum, because it might look like a side topic, but I do feel that it's not. And but that I really much appreciate. Actually, it's a breakout session of our Women in Energy conference, which we started already in 2017 and 2018, and which we will have in 2019. You will be all invited. It will take place in early September. Second, you might have recognized we are not sitting behind our own pictures. This is just a disclaimer. I would have profited a lot, but unfortunately, it's not the case. And third, if you allow me, I would start a little bit unconventional, but not with a statement, but with a question, or even more questions than that. I would like to raise a poll with the dear guests here. Also because after the lunchtime it's necessary to do a little bit of exercise. So my first question to you is, who has a daughter? Please, let's do it the old analog way. Raise your hand.
Daughter.
Simply raise. Actually it's digital, it's 01. So, you all have a daughter. This is correct because it has to be more or less more than 50%. This is the statistical approach. Now, who wants that her or his daughter once have a good job in a good company? Raise your hand, please.
All of you.
Okay, this should be mostly the same, yeah? To be absolutely sure, I will ask the counter question. Who wants his or her daughter just to marry rich, get children, stay at house and be a housewife? At least one.
Only one.
It's fair enough. It's fair enough. I just wanted to know where we are. Okay, let's have a check on that. So let's talk about getting our daughters into technical professions. You know about this Lego stuff, Denmark company, yeah? I have to mention the brand. Who of you who has a daughter gave Lego to his daughter or encouraged his or her daughter to play with Lego? Raise your hands again.
All of us.
It's less. It's less. And I'm not talking about Lego the bricks. Now I'm talking about Lego techniques. The men between us know what we are talking about. These incredible things where you can build automotive things and robots and cranes and things. I don't see, I can count them now. I can count them already. Who of you wants to see their daughter in a technical high school? 5, 6, 7. Technical university.
All.
That's better, huh? That's better. Okay, so what I'm trying, who of you, last question, I promise, who of you see your daughter in a technical profession working in a power plant for LM? Oh, that's unfair, huh? No, working as an electrofitter for Evena. Oh, thank you for that. Okay, so what I'm trying to explain here a little bit, or illustrating here a little bit, is what we call the concept of leaking pipeline. And the leaking pipeline is when you have some input and you don't get the same output at the end of the pipeline. And this is what's happening actually, not just in North Macedonia, but everywhere in the world, with technical jobs and equality. At the very first point, when our daughters and sons are 0 years old, they have the same opportunities and possibilities. They are completely equal. But then something interesting is happening, and it precisely happens at the age of 6. At the age of 6, boys get more clever than girls. Only in their imagination. But the problem is, and that's a real fact, and I will mention the study afterwards, the problem is not just in the imagination of the boys, but also in the imagination of the girls. Also, they believe after the age of 6 that boys are more clever than they are. And this was actually a study which was a couple of years ago done by a psychologist from the New York University. Lynn Bain was her name. And she asked, actually she told 400 girls and boys at the age of 5, 6, and 7 a fairy tale. And the fairy tale was about a hero, and the hero didn't have a gender. In English language, this is more easy to explain a fairy tale without mentioning the gender. And the fairy tale was about the hero, which was very, very, very clever. And after the fairy tale, a psychologist asked the 5-year-old, showed them 4 cards, 2 of them with female character and 2 with male character, and said, who is the hero? Point the hero to the female or male. And of course the boys completely took the male one and said this was the clever guy in the fairy tale. And at the 5-year-old girls said it was the female one. But the experiment repeated with the 6-year-old and the 7-year-old, and it changed. At the 6 years old, the boys haven't changed at all. They still thought the clever guy has to be a male. But the girls already selected the male's one, and when we go to the 7 years old, most of the girls said this clever guy in the story has to be male. And why I'm telling this story? This shows precisely that we have this leaking pipeline, and we have it starting from the year of 5, 6, where even children don't attend school. And it is increased in the school. because we had this little experiment before, how many of you want your daughter to go in a technical high school? And we have the experience with our school project 2020-20. We have 32 students, 30 of them male, 2 of them female, and we have to encourage them. And it continues, and the professor knows in the university. In North Macedonia, it's almost equal. We have very good balance here, yeah? But in other countries, less females study in technical sciences. And afterwards, we have a dropout rate of females which have graduated the technical study, but then afterwards don't want to work. And then we have the last part of the leaking pipeline, when females already worked in a technical job, but then leave the technical job and go somewhere else. So a lot of holes in this pipeline which makes a problem and which we have to defeat. Now, do I have an answer? The panel will have the answer. My first answer on this is simply, it needs to be a holistic approach. You cannot just ignore the whole pipeline and try to repair one of the holes. You have to repair all the holes, and it has to start also with a public-private partnership. It is not distributed only to the business sector at the end of the pipe. It has to start at the very beginning.
Thank you very much. Кога зборуваме за статистика, не колку инженери работат во енергетските компании, туку колку млади девојки или инженерки се на високи позиции, тогаш резултатите се поразителни. На топ менаџерските позиции во енергетските компании скоро и да ги немаме жените. Но овде со нас имаме еден добар пример. Господјата Reem Hamdan ни доаѓа од кралството Јордан. Таа успеала во една земја каква што е Јордан да успее да стигне до местото заменик директор на електродистрибутивната компанија. Господјо Hamdan, дали е тешко да се постигне таа позиција и од што се треба да се одрече или што треба да сработи жената за да дојде до таа позиција?
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the chance to participate in this interesting forum where 2 subjects are very dear to me, the women and renewables. So just starting from the statistics, I will start from there and then I will answer the 2 questions of you.
May I go near to the microphone?
Yeah, okay. So I have the numbers from the IRENA report. It's the International Renewable Agency that was published in 2018. It's done based on a survey for 1,500 participants from 144 countries. The report states that about 22% among most of the world are of women in oil and gas and energy. This percentage increases to renewable to be 32%. So this gives us an indication that women are attracted more to renewables rather than the oil and gas. And I think maybe because it is a clean energy, they find themselves in this area and so on. And when we get into the details of this percentage, the 32, we could find that 45% of these jobs are for administrative, and the percentage of women working in engineering and renewables are only about 28%. So again, this is the questions, why women are not attracted to engineering like the administrative or the other normal, let's say, jobs in any of the companies that works in energy. And from here, we can talk about the barriers that sometimes it affects the women from participating in energy companies. And I could say that these barriers differs from country to country, and also it differs within the same country from the capital to any of the rural or the areas in the remote areas. And of course, nevertheless, to say that the barriers that I faced 27 or 20 years ago when I started my career is much more different than the ones that are facing now. And I could say that I don't think now the barriers are facing the woman the way it used to be, because you can tell that this is the equity of women. It's a rising subject, and now most of the countries and most of the companies are having these targets and having these actions, and to make sure that there are a work-life balance for their employees. So if we want to talk about the specific barriers, we could say that there are barriers for women to get into those companies, and then there are other barriers for them to proceed and to have the career development. So, of course, one of the issues for the barriers for women to get into the subjects, it depends on the analysis of the country itself. Because in Jordan, I think it's like Macedonia, we have more than 55% of the females are in the universities. Most of the women are highly educated, they are very clever, but when it has come to the labor market, only 17% of them are working. And when it comes also to the company that I work in, it's only about 8% we have women. And when it comes to engineering, we are only 1% of women working in the engineering. So it is, I work in a distribution company. The head offices are in the capital, but we are distributing electricity in the rural areas. We are very far away from the capital. We still have 2 districts that we don't have any women working in those districts. And when it comes for the reasons of this, although we do have a lot of actions that most of the companies now, I think they are doing, they have this networking, we have mentorship programs, we have, of course, work-life balances, we have flex time, we have part-time, but still sometimes when women, they wanted to come in and to step and to submit CVs, some of the workers, they don't accept them to be with them. So this comes, from my perspective, to the most important things as a woman to participate. It's you need to put for yourself a self-target. You need to be persistent on what you wanted to do, because from my point of view now, the environment are much easier for the woman to work in. However, sometimes the women, they are afraid to get in. They don't want to. Sometimes they just wanted to have the easiest way of jobs and not to be looking for advancement and for the career and to be ambitious. Of course, one of the big issues in Jordan, and I think the Macedonian also, is the family support. We are all women, we do have families, we do have children, we need sometimes to leave our country to go for inspection or to have some tests, whether it's in the same country in another area or whether it's outside the countries. So we need to have a support from the family, either from the husband or from the mother or father, to look for the children and to pursue the care of the children while I'm away. So this family support, I think it is important to have it, because it will lessen the burden on the female employees. I think now the actions and the programs that are done to improve the participation of women in the energy companies are getting more and more. The light and the opportunities is there for them, but I think there also needs to be a persistence of workers from the women to pursue their work and for their development. Okay.
Thank you very much. Јас би продолжила со овој тренд, што значи семејството, за да се гради успешна кариера на една жена, инженер. Овде со нас е и госпоѓа Верица Узунова. Еве еден мал куриозитет. Таа е тука со 9-месечно бебе, моментално, така има дадилка горе во собата, а сопругот и работи во Германија. Госпоѓа Верица, што треба да прави една жена да биде успешен инженер, да биде на јавна функција, председател на надзорен одбор на една голема компанија, енергетска компанија?
Благодарам прво на поканата. Благодарам на поканата и на можноста еве да позборуваме на така интересна тема. Од каде да почнам? Да се биде жена инженер во, ќе потенцирам, Република Северна Македонија. Значи, прво е одлука која што треба самиот да ја донесете, а потоа треба да се ставите во улога во која треба да прифатите дека постојано ќе бидете малцинство во својот делокруг на работење. Тоа значи доживотно учење, постојано себе докажување и од моје лично искуство откажување од многу работи кои што ги прават жените кои што не се инженери по професија. Република Северна Македонија е, морам да признаам со жалење, исклучително стереотипна средина, во која улогата на жената најчесто се гледа во домакинството, во семејството, со децата или во потака женските професии, како што се еве учителка, негувателка и така натаму. Па да се биде жена инженер значи и предизвик, прво, меѓутоа, како што кажа и колешката пред мене, неопходно е да се има и поддршка од блиските, меѓутоа и поттик за да успеете во тоа што го имате намерено. За да можам денес да бидам тука присутна, неопходно беше да ја донесам мојата ќерка од 9 месеци, од причина што, еве, мојот сопруг е исто инженер, кој што е во работен однос во надвор од Македонија. И исклучително беше напорно и вчера, и денес, се надевам, еве, утре заминуваме, меѓутоа ќе биде добро, меѓутоа сакам да го потенцирам фактот што жената инженер, иако ги има можеби истите квалификации, е исто образована, ги има истите квалитети, сепак малку потешко напредува во однос на мажите инженери во нашата средина, не затоа што, односно не од било кои други причини, туку едноставно само затоа што е жена. Неопходно е да ги отстраниме прво стереотипите, кои што ги имаме сите стекнато, да дадеме малку поголема димензија на улогата на жената во општеството, не само на улогата на жената како инженер, и да уште од најмала возраст и преку образовниот процес дадеме до знаење дека неопходно е да работиме на еднаквите можности кои што ги имаат мажите и жените. Во таа насока, јас лично и моје видување, а и тоа го многу често знам да го истакнам и на многу трибини, меѓутоа еве и на конференции, жените имаат карактерно еден поголем сензибилитет и во таа насока на различен начин управуваат, еве кога станува збор за органи на управување, управуваат со целите, например, кои што си ги имаат поставено, на начин на кој што, ајде да кажам, повнимателно ја контролираат таа социјална организираност или со други зборови, знаат многу полесно и поедноставно да направат баланс помеѓу логичното расудување и емоционалното однесување. Од таа причина, поборник сум многу голем за зголемување на жените во управувачките одбори и не само во одборите, туку и органите на управување, туку и на раководните позиции, затоа што во Република Северна Македонија бројот на жени кои што се на раководни позиции во секторот енергетика, кој што вие спомнавте, е исклучително машки, е запрепастувачки. Ќе напоменам, еве, во ЕСМ, таму каде што јас сум председател на надзорниот одбор, баш пред извесен период ги гледав статистиките на жените во однос на мажите, соодносот е навистина запрепастувачки. Меѓутоа морам да потенцирам дека еве во изминатите 10 години тој тренд на вработување на жени инженери се подобрува. Од 2010 година навака зголемен е бројот на жени инженери. Еве и за аудиториумот да има представа за што станува збор, за компанија која што има над 5000 вработени. Само 639 жени инженери има, од кои 29 се на раководни позиции, а само една од можни 7 има директорско место. Мораме заеднички да придонесеме да жените го заземат местото кое што треба да го имаат рамо до рамо со мажите, затоа што, како и што напоменав, карактерните особини на жените знаат да придонесат да една компанија има голем број на бенефити од работењето на жените инженери.
Благодарам, Верица. Веќе во Македонија 2 години поред се одржува конференција Жени во енергетика. Еве бевме поканети и овде да имаме свој панел, веднаш после првиот панел. Тоа покажува дека нашите енергетски компании го разбираат потребата за се поголема инволвираност на жените во овој сектор, кој традиционално, веќе кажавме, сметаме дека припаѓа на мажите. Но јас би сакала малку сега да отвориме една друга тема, а тоа е како државата, како владите можат да придонесат за таа, да кажеме, глобално, на глобално ниво, да се заекне родовиот баланс. Тука со нас е и госпоѓата Runyon од Америчката амбасада. Што мислите вие околу тоа?
Well, I'm going to take this off just so I don't hear myself talk. Well, that's a very good question, and I'd like to sort of preface just with a bit of background first. So the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report measures gender-based gaps in resources and opportunities. In 2018, the report noted that while there was a less than 5% gap between genders on average in access to education and healthcare, that gap was significantly greater in economic opportunity, nearly 42%, and outrageously high in political representation, 77%. So basically, while men and women have, in general, worldwide, have nearly equal access now to education and healthcare services, men have twice as much access to economic opportunities and 3 times as much political clout as women, and that's a significant imbalance. So the report also shows some concrete examples explaining that across the 149 countries assessed, just 17 currently have female heads of state, and on average, only 18% of ministers and 24% of parliamentarians are women. And while the numbers are generally improving, if the current rates in closing the gap are maintained into the future, it would take 61 years to close the gap in Western Europe. 70 years in South Asia, 74 in Latin America and the Caribbean, 135 in Sub-Saharan Africa, 124 years in Eastern Europe and Central Asia, 153 years in the Middle East and North Africa, 171 years in East Asia, and I'm sad to say 165 years in North America. So these estimates reflect the current pace. So policymakers and other stakeholders need to fast forward the process and take stronger action to take full advantage of the economic benefits of a broader base of human capital. Without the equal participation of women in the decision-making at government levels and at all levels, peace, development, human rights, justice, economies, economies cannot be achieved. Equal participation also ensures that women's voices and perspectives inform policies and actions. So to make any real progress, gender parity must be promoted at all levels, in education, society, government, and business, from the earliest stages as Petra showed, for 5 and 6 years old, and be supported by the resources at the most senior levels. Targeted strategies backed by senior leaders with adequate resources are essential. Governments can lead by example. Currently, in the United States, we are dramatically underperforming. In the Global Gender Gap Report, we ranked 51 out of 149 countries surveyed. Only 25% of our senators are women. Only 23.7% of our House of Representatives are women. And only 18% of our governors are women. Yet these are all record-breaking highs for the United States. So while we're moving in the right direction, we definitely have a long way to go. Personally, I'm very proud to say that my home state of Nevada, this year in 2019, we became the very first state legislature in the United States where women hold the majority, 50.8%. So it's low. We're only 32 out of 63, but we're getting there. So in addition to governments leading by example, we need to build awareness of gender bias and develop communication strategies to highlight the importance of gender balance and find opportunities for discussion, networking, and collaboration among women and men across all industries. We also need civil organizations to help raise awareness and train both women and men on issues of gender equality, gender bias, and gender balance across sectors. This will enhance their understanding and responsiveness to these issues and build greater support for women's participation. Businesses can also make gender a top priority, and many of them are doing so. They should also put structures in place to confront limiting attitudes towards women. In the United States, women in the power sector are working together to promote and develop their own careers. For instance, the Women's Energy Network is a US-based international organization of professional women with 4,000 members and 14 chapters. It's the largest US organization working to educate, attract, retain, and develop professional women in the energy sector. Our US Department of Energy is fully committed to enhancing women's participation in leadership in the energy workforce and furthering STEM education by working to partner with stakeholders and seeking to remove barriers, particularly in STEM education careers for women and other underrepresented groups. Also, in February of this year, President Trump initiated the Women's Global Development and Prosperity Initiative to boost global domestic product and facilitate peace, security, and stability by empowering women economically. This will build on existing programs such as the World Bank's Women Entrepreneurs Finance Initiative, OPIC's 2x Women Initiative, and USAID's Women Connect Challenge. So you see, there's a role for government, for everyone, governments, civil society, businesses, and individuals to stand together and raise awareness of gender imbalance and collaborate on ways to combat it.
Благодарам, госпожо Рајон, за исцрпната слика што ни ја дадовте, но дали се потребни само закони, пак до вас едно кратко прашање, дали е потребно со закон да дојдеме до еднаквост, родова еднаквост, или може и на други начини?
I'm not a lawyer, and I don't think we necessarily need a law, but you need all aspects. You need the legal aspect, you need government to be involved, civil society to be involved, educators to be involved, businesses to be involved, and individuals themselves. Everyone needs to pay attention.
Благодарам многу. Сега продолжуваме понатаму што цивилното општество и невладините организации можат да направат за подобрување на, да кажеме, на родовата еднаквост во општеството генерално и како тоа е поврзано со одржливиот развој. Можеби тука можеме некаква нитка заедничка да направиме. Повелете, Ела.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much also for inviting us here to this forum. It's a very interesting, interesting get-together of different people from different sectors. And there's a lot to pick up on also. I mean, there are a few things that I would also like to comment on that the speakers before me have said, and most of it I really agree with. Just to pick up on this, on Shannon's input, and I mean, when we look at how much time we actually need in order to pick up speed and to get to a point where we would actually like to be in society. It was I think in 1979, so 40 years ago, when CEDAW passed. I don't know if all of you know what that is. It's a convention against the, it's a convention for the elimination of discrimination against women, basically. So this was 40 years ago. And I don't think we've come far enough, quite frankly. The Paris Agreement passed in 2015. Let's be better with that one, is my first point. And let's be quicker. The other, I think, other thing I wanted to say is we want to fight discrimination. We want to have a more fair treatment and equity in workplaces and in education, just because we're all citizens of this planet, and of course there's equality between men and women. But it goes beyond that, and at an energy forum, which is somehow also a business convention, I think it's important to say it also makes sense. It's the smartest decision for your economy to look at the human capacities of your country and to have the best opportunities for all in order to get the best of all. And that's just the reality of today. And the fact that we still today have to talk about oh yeah, maybe here and there, 1 of 7 women in directorial positions, that just shows you're not doing a good job, quite frankly. You know, it's just a bad grade. The management should give themselves, and it's a self-critical assessment. And the fact that at this forum, this panel is organized shows that there is also self-critical debate happening, which is very good and is needed, very much needed. So in order to answer to your question, though, what can civil society do and what can other organizations do, is of course also raising awareness about this. And I mean, it really goes goes on all angles. We can talk about the educational sector, which is hugely important. I mean, it was already mentioned at the age of 6. I was just playing Lego with my 5-year-old nephew, actually. And in fact, what happened was, we were flipping through the magazine, and he was showing me all the different things he had from this technical Lego stuff. And then suddenly some pink pages appeared. And he said, oh, this is for girls. And he's 5 years old. And 2 interesting things happened then. So first of all, I realized, oh, okay, when I was younger, we didn't have this. You know, there wasn't like pink Lego or something. It was just Lego. I loved to play with it. My brother loved to play with it. That was just the reality. Suddenly, somebody has learned, oh, we can make money off of these stereotypes. Let's use them and let's block whatever progress we've already created, and then let's go back. So that's one thing I realized. And the other thing I realized is he actually also liked the stuff in the pink pages, but didn't allow himself to play with that stuff too. And that's also important, you know. So when we talk about finding the affinity of people towards certain subjects, maybe also this can create a much broader debate and a much more open society for all, for everybody, not just, you know, opportunities for girls in one sector, but also opportunities for men in other sectors. I mean, we talk about the possibilities of women to have directorial positions and to have childcare available to them in order to fulfill their duties there. The previous speakers have addressed this already. But I mean, this is also an option for men. Also, men need childcare in order for them to, you know, fathers to have managerial positions. So this is a topic for everybody in society, and I think it needs to be addressed at the earliest stage possible. And we need to ban this type of advertising that we can see on like this. I mean, I don't want to bash Lego. I really love Lego, but I mean on things like that, but others as well. So those are really important things.
Во ред. Уште едно прашање до вас. Господјата Runyon ни даде една слика што се случува во Соединетите Американски држави како голема земја која веќе долго време практикува демократија. Вие доаѓате од една сосема друг тип на земја, Германија, каде што се споија 2 различни општества заедно. Дали и сигурно можете да ни дадете некаква слика што се случува, кој дел, односно дали посткомунистичките земји кај нив ситуацијата со джендер баланс е подобра или не, и воопшто што се случува во вашата земја сега, со оглед дека имате заедничка слика во овој момент.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, Germany has a bit of a different background because it was divided and also divided along two very fundamentally different systems. And whenever, I mean, after 1989, when the wall fell and the two systems reunited and came together, we did see differences in those two countries. Of course, in all kinds of sectors for all kinds of reasons. But what was very interesting was that in former Eastern Germany, so in the DDR, so to speak, we had a lot more women in the workforce. It was much more common for women to work. It was much more common for women to work on a top level as well than it was in Western Germany. And I think this is true also for other post-socialist countries in the region. So this is something we've identified, we've seen, and I think part of the reason for that is something I touched on earlier, which is that there was a system. I mean, you can argue about the general system, of course, and whether you like it or not, but there was a different kind of system for childcare, for example. There was not this idea that you're a bad mother when you give away your child for childcare and go to work in a factory or in a managing board or wherever. But this was a very common and normal thing to do. And of course, in some parts of the world, it is also today a normal thing. But in Western Germany, for example, it was a slightly different picture, and we could see that. And it's quite interesting to look at the stats when we look at women in managing positions. For some time, it was more women from Eastern Germany in managing positions. To this day, we have the manager of the country, so to speak, Angela Merkel. By the way, somebody who studied physics and has a PhD in physics is the chancellor of a country and is from the former eastern part of Germany. So I think that says it all in an interesting way. So that there for sure there were some aspects I think we can take from the socialist past and look at it critically and say, aren't there elements that we maybe have to reform and re-implement because they kind of helped, and there were some conditions in society that really helped elevate women and helped equity in society. So I think that's for sure a lesson learned. But I mean, of course, there are things that you can do on a policy level and that you can do in order to motivate young students to go into these subjects and to then later also proceed to these careers. We have days in Germany where women and girls and teenagers are invited to go to technical workplaces and to have a look at the daily life in these types of working environments, to learn more about them, because we've realized that often women, due to various factors, just aren't exposed to that very often, and so they don't really know what it looks like. They get scared of it, and then they tend to go to other areas. Also, of course, a lack of role models still. I know this is sort of an old story, and people say, is it really important? Yes, it is important. It is important to see that there are role models, there are women. It gives you a sense of belonging. It means I can do this too. It means I also belong there, and that's just the reality of it. And then, of course, on a business on the level of economy, there's a huge potential and need for, I think, regulation and legislation. We've introduced a quota on executive boards in Germany, which I'm a big fan of. Probably not everybody is. I am a big fan of. I'm convinced we need legislation in order to move forward. And what's very interesting also is this idea of I called it earlier, I don't know the term in English, but we have this sort of policy of the empty chair, of the vacant chair. So if you have a quota of 30%, you have a managing position or a director position open, and you cannot fill it with a woman. Oftentimes, what we then saw was that people said, well, we couldn't find anybody qualified for it, so that's why it goes to a man. But with this legislation now, this post remains vacant until you find a woman that fulfills these criteria. And that's a very useful tool to, help those who have not understood that this is an important progress for the entire society. Those are just some of the things. I think also connected connected to this. So you can, there are many different legislations that you can put in place that somehow at least help to stimulate progress and to allow a process of self-reflection in those companies that have not yet reached it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ella. Mr. Peter, do you have some comments of this discussion of Ella?
I 99% agree, but to make it more interesting with the last comment, I slightly disagree. I'm not a big fan of quotas, and just for one reason. Not quotas at all. Also when it comes to feed-in tariff for energy, there's quotas. I'm also not a fan for that. It's just the first one wins. When we talk about gender equality, the next step we should talk about is diversity at all. And when we come to quota, we should not have a quota between males and females, but we should have a quota between different races within the company and different ages, because this also is a measure of diversity, and maybe different religious backgrounds. And then it gets so multiple that you cannot compete with the quota anymore. But with the rest, I totally agree, and we try to establish this also in our company. And the first thing is, which was mentioned here many times, is you have to accept that you have a problem. If you don't accept that you have a problem, you're not going to make any progress. And I call it problem because you really waste half of the workforce. And this is a problem, especially in a country like North Macedonia, where people are migrating, where we have a skill drain, where we have a brain drain. And the easiest thing and the most cleverest things, and here we all agree, is to open up job opportunities at least to the female young ones. The second thing is, which is also a factor of success, if you as a management, whether it's a male or female management, if you think you can delegate this to the HR level and say, do the gender thing, yeah, you're not going to succeed at all. You have to stand behind it, and it's a long process. It's not a one-time, one-year measure. Let's put this like in the CSR report, and it's done. Yeah? This is not going to succeed. You have to accept that you are undergoing a change process. And you have to manage this process as we are trying to manage every process. Not to forget that males have created the world for the last 4,000 years according to their beliefs, except some rare figures like Cleopatra, Maria Theresa, Angela Merkel maybe. But there is unfortunately, some few examples. But we have created a world, and with me I mean the males, we have created a world according to our standards. And now we say, okay guys, or girls, ladies, enter. And there is this little story about the giraffe and the elephant, you might have heard already, where the giraffe is having a factory with a lot of other giraffes, and everything is adapted to working as giraffes. And then came this elephant, and the giraffe said, let's have it as a co-worker. And the elephant didn't even pass the door because it was tiny and was made for a giraffe, and the elephant was stuck into the door. And the giraffe said, don't worry at all, we will enlarge the door, then you fit in. And the next day the door was huge enough that the elephant fits in, but none of the machineries was appropriate to work with the feet of an elephant and the heavy weight of an elephant. So I'm not talking about the physical environment, I'm talking about the psychological environment, which we have to undergo a change process and open our factories and offices for the female workforce and for their female thinking. Because we don't want to have a copier, or you did something wrong, you didn't understand the concept of engendering. If you think we just get females which look nicer as males but works like males, then you spoil the concept completely. We want these characteristics, these typical characteristics from females, because it is already proven that this is a more sustainable business approach than with males only.
Yeah, just to pick up, I really support everything you just said. Just also to add on, I think when we talk about energy and the energy sector and the renewable energies and the fact that we're all facing a time when it's 5 minutes past midnight when we look at climate change, we are really in desperate need of creative, innovative, and fast solutions. And those you only get when you set up your company and you set up the workspace in a way that inspires this kind of kinds of innovations and thinking outside the box. And you need diverse teams for that completely, and you certainly need equity for that.
Благодарам. Минатата година направивме една анкета помеѓу студентите инженери од машки и од женски пол на европско ниво. И едно од прашањата беше дали мислите дека мажите и жените за исто време може да напредуваат во кариерата. И мажите и жените, значи студентите, ни дадоа исти одговор, дека мажите побрзо напредуваат во кариерата. Овде ние имаме два рол модели, жени на успешни позиции во енергетскиот сектор. Што вие поотделно би им порачале на младите инженерки, како да ја градат кариерата и како побрзо да стигнат до менаџерските позиции? Еве, Верица прво.
Благодарам. Не постои универзална формула или рецепт за тоа како побрзо или поуспешно да се стигне до некаква позиција. Меѓутоа, еве ќе се обидам да моето искуство го пренесам и да препорачам на младите инженери дека на инженерки, инженерки, дека се што имаат наумено е достижно, само да не се откажуваат. Во така изградениот наш машки свет на инженери, тоа милувам многу често да го кажам, најчесто жените знаеме да бидеме пресретнати од коментари кои што во некои наврати дури можат и да не одвратат од намерата која што имаме зацртано, да напредуваме, да бидеме унапредени или да стигнеме до раководна позиција. Сепак примерите со позитивни примери кои што ги имаме еве на рол модели кои што ги кажавте, може да бидат предизвик за многу жени. Меѓутоа и во моето претходно излагање кажав дека неопходна е поддршката и поттикот. Поддршката и од најблиските и од фамилијата, меѓутоа еве Стефан може ќе ми замери, неопходно е и да властите и менаџерите на големите компании се заложат да квотите бидат исполнети. Иако ние имаме закон во кој за еднакви можности помеѓу мажите и жените, во кој на одредени позиции е дефинирано дека жените треба да бидат во одреден процент застапени, сепак тоа во многу наврати искуството покажува дека не се почитува. Значи, потребна е една синергија помеѓу сите чинители, за да можат самите жени да се реализираат на планот на кој што самите имаат замислено. Според мене една жена може да биде реализирана и успешна на начин и онолку колку што таа ќе си го постави прагот. Бројките кажав дека се такви какви што се надевам дека еве има расположение со оглед на тоа што во изминативе неколку години многу често таа тема ја вжештува јавноста и е подложна на доста коментари, разговори и дебати и се надевам дека ќе најдеме слух кај менаџерите на големите компании и воедно кај оние кои што се креатори на општественото делување, да жените своето место го најдат таму каде што го имаат зацртано. Споменавте дека мажите побрзо напредуваат во однос на жените. Ќе се навратам на вашата претходна констатација, да не заборавиме дека во тие скалила на искачување на мажите жени и на мажите инженери и на жените инженери, да не заборавиме дека жените имаат еден период кога треба да бидат реализирани и како мајки. Благодарам.
Благодарам, Верица. Јас би го дополнила прашањето до Рим. Постои една така мисла дека линијата, бизнис линијата или напредувањето на мажите е права линија. Додека жените и во начинот размислување одат до некаде, па имаат друг приоритет, па свртуваат на друго место, па продолжуваат понатаму. Во тој контекст, што вие ќе препорачате на младите инженерки овде што се присутни и воопшто што работат во енергетскиот сектор?
Well, it's for the work development between a woman and a male. It seems to be the same path, but it's harder for women because it's not the career path. It's the same, but women needs to pay more efforts to be distinguished as a very hard worker, so that everyone will see her as a very excellent employee, and then they will listen to her, and they will give her the chance, and they will give her the full support. So it's hard work, hard work, hard work. This is the secret advice, and it's not that if the hard worker, whether he's a male or female, he will be at the end put in the right position. But it's the only advice would I give to any woman, that it's better for you as not to be. You need to continue. Don't let some small tiny things make you or stop you from getting more and more. Sometimes there is a family needs, sometimes some social norms or some social efforts needs to stop you, but at the end I think you need to continue your advancement in the work. It's when I look about my experience 27 years ago, I was the only engineer in any room, and it was not an easy thing. And there were no mobiles, I couldn't easily have the phone calls, whether to talk to the family or the work, whether the two ways. The maternity leave was only 40 days at that time, so it's. There were always the difficult situation. You think it's difficult at that time, but when the time goes and when you overcome this issue, you would find that it is something that you could overcome and you could proceed in the work. But sometimes you, through the development, you would see that there is a glass ceiling and you could not go further into any more position. And here sometimes I think that the quotas could be the solution to make a dramatic change. I mean, if you leave the things to the development, the normal development of the workers between men and women, you could never find a woman in the board directors or the chairman of a board and what so on. But if you put the quotas, sometimes this quota make the changes much more faster. So if you wanted to make a faster changes in the environment or in the society, you could make the quota. And this quota applies all to the political issues, whether the parliament, the senates, and so on. In Jordan, we have this quota in the parliament, and after we have women in the parliament, they found that having more women is better for the economy and better for the laws and so on. So sometimes when it comes to the board members or to the CEOs, if it doesn't come by normal issues, then having quota will help to show the society or to show the people that having women in the boards or as a CEO, it will be an add, because women think differently. So sometimes men and women in the management, they look to the different point. They look to the subject from two different points of view, and the end it will be for the benefit of the company. So that's it. Thank you.
Благодарам. Господине Петер, да пробаме да одговориме на забелешките на госпоѓа Узунова, дека менаџерите, односно највисоките менаџери во компанијата треба да прават нешто за да има еднаквост, родова еднаквост. Може би еве уште едно дополнително прашање, што вие правите во Евана да се подобри ситуацијата?
I was afraid that you asked me if my colleagues have convinced me now about the quota. And I would be persistent and would have said no, because I live in the illusion that qualification comes first, which is an illusion. It's not always like that, especially in business life, because we all know what comes in business life first: network. And here's my recommendation to my female colleagues. Increase your capacity in having a network. This is a weakness which I identify very often. Men are better in networking, and by that helping them each other in a senior position. Do this as well. Create your networks, gather together, and then help each other in a senior position. What Evana does in his first steps of having a program for gender equality, I would even call it baby steps, but you have to start from somewhere, is being sensitive to this, having concrete measures, like we have an annual Bring Your Child to Work Day for sensibilizing that this position of the father or mother is available also for daughter and son. We have a program for neutralizing our job advertisements to approach towards both genders, which looks like naturally given, but it's not. You have to have an eye on that. We of course have implemented, I think as the first company in North Macedonia, flexible working time. To encourage females to have a possibility to have this work-life balance and care about the family. And I think there's a lot of more. I cannot even think about all of them, but it is the small things, it's the small steps which we have to go to have the big picture. And of course it has to be in your mind what you want to reach one day. What is the big picture?
Благодарам, господине Петер. Господјо Runyon, имаме една веб страна, Electrical Engineering е името, и таму имаше една слика, дека за секој инженер прво треба да биде завршувањето на школото, образованието, потоа да жените да оформат семејство, а после да градат кариера. Нешто слично се случува и со нашите статистики. Например, на нашиот факултет имаме податоци дека девојките се многу подобри студенти и завршуваат со поголем успех своето школување, но понатаму некако како да се губат во достигнувањето на високите позиции воопшто во индустријата, во стопанството. Општо, генерално, што вие би препорачале на младите жени, што да прават прво во животот, како да ја насочат својата кариера? Дајте го вашиот пример.
I don't know that my example is particularly relevant because I'm not an engineer and I'm not in this sort of a working environment. But I would say one of the things we need to do is definitely continue to inspire girls and women to follow their dreams no matter what they are. I was very fortunate. I grew up in a family where no one pressured me to get married and have children or to be this or to be that. So I was left to my own devices. When I was 2, I wanted to be a college kid. So after high school, I went to college. After I got out of college, I had to figure out what I was going to do next, which I wasn't really 100% sure of. But I had a bachelor's degree in behavioral sciences. Then I went and saw the world a little bit because I'd studied languages and I wanted to see what was out there. I got to go to the Soviet Union when it was still the Soviet Union through a different job and saw a huge potential there from business. So after that, I came back and I went to business school. I went to International School of Business, which ultimately eventually led to me doing business and politics for the US government. So there are road bumps along the way, but I think one of the things that's more important that I never actually had growing up, but one of the things we can do and we should do is to sing the praises of women who make strides in male-dominated industries to show that it is possible. Young girls and other minorities can only dream it if they can see it, if they can see themselves in that role. And one of the ways we can do that, one of the ways we can help that, and just to draft off of what Mr. Petar said and what Ella said earlier, is in companies, one of the things that you notice is that, men tend to have more access to other leaders. They tend, if they have more access to senior management and to the best clients and the most lucrative job tracks, then obviously they're going to be seen as more qualified. So companies need to be very conscious, if they want to improve their gender balance, about making sure that those opportunities are available to everyone. One of the ways they can do this is have a good mentorship program. Mentoring programs are great. They don't have to be, gender specific. You don't have to, especially in organizations where you have fewer women at the top, you're not going to always be able to have a woman mentor another woman. So they need to be able to spread that out. And then Petar mentioned networking. And networking is important, but men and women do it differently. And women shouldn't try to network the same way men do because they're not going to be as successful. The most successful women network differently than men do, but networking is still key. So all of these things are things that people can do, but we have to emulate that activity. We have to highlight it and show it and let people see that these things are possible. But it's showing by doing by showing.
Благодарам многу. Се надевам дека можеме да завршиме со господинот Петер. Тој е голем активист во Македонија кога се однесува промовирање на родовата еднаквост. Беше иницијатор, веќе спомнав на почетокот, да се започне и со конференцијата Жени во енергетика, која ја поддржаа силно и другите две енергетски компании. Благодарност до директорите исто така, кои имаат и сен за тоа прашање. Господине Петер, што не очекува во идниот период кога станува збор промовирање на родовата еднаквост и подигнување на свеста за ова прашање?
If I would only know that. And okay, I think we had our first conference in 2017 to raise the awareness. The second conference was because we mean it and we want to have a sustainable approach. Now the third conference, I think it should go one step further. This is why we even extend the range. Our concept is not having just the title women in energy, but increase it to women in industry. Because I do believe that we have a good role models, and here I also agree, role models are necessary. Yeah? It gives practical experience and a good cinema, a good movie, a good pictures about what we're going to reach, because we are all talking the same color, but not everybody sees the color already. So I think this conference, where you're all highly invited, and I'm looking forward to that, and you as well, dear guests, which will be in September, by the way. We will have guests from the industry and role models from the industry, which will reflect also to the industry part of energy, how they deal with their gender issue and what we can learn. And let's see what comes out. But we have to reach the next stage from just raising the awareness to getting concrete measures and doing something. Here I completely agree. Finally, I would say, please don't give up pushing us males as well. As I mentioned before, we have inherited over 4,000 years power, and not everybody of us will easily give it up.
Благодарам, господине Петер. Почитувани, се надевам дека овој панел одговори на прашањата, вашите прашања околу родовата еднаквост, особено на госпогите што се овде присутни од енергетскиот сектор. Еве ветивме дека ќе работиме и понатаму во оваа област. Со тоа јас би го на некој начин завршила овој официјалниот дел, односно панел дискусијата. Малку сме кратки со времето, бидејќи почнавме покасно, но се надевам дека ќе има и прашања од публиката. Значи, ја отворам панел дискусијата за прашања од публиката. Повелете.
Може би не сум баш најпроперли персон да земам дискусија сега, затоа што сум жена, а единствениот маж во вашиот панел ми е директор. Само сакам да го кажам моето мислење во делот на дилемата дали треба или не треба да има квоти. Значи, не сум разговарала ништо со мојот директор, меѓутоа стојам на ставот и покрај тоа дека сум жена, дека прво и осново треба се работи на свеста. На свеста прво кај жените, да знаат што барат, да знаат што сакат, а потоа на свеста кај мажите. Квотите ништо нема да направат револуционерно. Една од колешките рече дека истата таква работа се пресликува и во политиката. Случајно сум имала шанси да учествувам во правење на листи од политички партии за советници или за надзорни управни одбори и така натаму. Состојбата знаете каква е? Се бројат мажите, значи. Прво место ќе биде Трајче, втор ќе биде Станко, трет ќе биде Петко, четврт жена, Александар, Зора, жена. Така оди листата. Така ја прават сите. Значи, јас ми доаѓало икс пати да кажам, јас што ме пишавте на четврто место, не сум жена. Јас сум Даниела Китанова и имам своја CV, со која што можам да се пофалам и која мислам дека доста добро ми приличи. Значи, и квотите знаат да се злоупотребуваат. И ако се законски, и многу лошо ние жените ги читаме тие квоти. Викаме најмалку 30% од, како вика, од обата пола. Доколку, како што вика господинот Петар Штефан, има квалитет, може 30% да остане од машкиот пол, али доколку има квалитет. Доколку нема квалитет, а квалитетот изостанува затоа што жените немаат храброст да го покажат, тогаш нема ни 30%. И тогаш поарно нека има 5%. Значи, ние треба да работиме врз храброста на жените и свеста на мажите, жените да го покажуваат и да работат на покажување на својот квалитет, а мажите да знаат да го проценуваат и да го почитуваат. Тоа е за мене.
Благодарам, Даниела. Мислам дека ќе дадам збор Ела и Верица. Еве.
Добро. Се согласувам делумно со дискусиите и на двајцата во делот на квотите, меѓутоа можеби погрешно бев разбрана во делот на што е тоа што властите и менаџерските тимови на големите компании треба да го испочитуваат. Значи, во Законот за еднакви можности помеѓу мажите и жените стои 30% од помалку застапениот пол. Сега, во секторот како што е енергетика, се подразбира дека помалку застапен пол се жените. Меѓутоа, сум имала и лично искуство, а и на мои колешки од факултет со кои неодамна разговарав, на предмет на интервју би имале прашање дали се во брачен однос и дали имаат раѓено деца. Тоа им е многу важно на предпоставените, затоа што кога имаат за една позиција кандидат маж и кандидат жена, кандидатот жена подразбира едно породилно боледување, друго породилно боледување, нега на деца и така натаму. И тоа автоматски значи дека пола од работното време компаниите тој инженер и нема да го имаат за да го користат. Што не е случај со мажите. Кога имаме кандидат маж и кандидат жена, искуството, барем и моето и на моето окружување од колешки, покажува дека менаџерските тимови се избираат мажи кандидати. Во таа насока само апелирав да бидат почитувани квотите, за да и покои квалификациите кои што жените ги имаат, а се на исто рамниште, може би и подобри во однос на образование, вештини и така натаму, за исто работно место, во многу случаеви компаниите знаат да изберат маж инженер. Може би тоа не е случај со ЕВН, меѓутоа само го напоменав искуството и секојдневието кое што се случува околу нас. Благодарам.
Thanks a lot for this comment, and really to pick directly up there. I mean, nobody will ever get a job when they're not qualified for it through a quota, but the quota is supposed to help and to prevent this type of bias. I think that's the point. And in general, I think, I mean, we can talk about quotas, but it's more important, I think, to look at it more broadly in the sense that we need legislation and regulations in order to prevent bias from dictating hiring practices, but also in order to encourage a different kind of atmosphere, also in the business sector. And yeah, exactly what was already said. It's really about well, a rising tide lifts all boats, so to speak. So it's really about increasing the number of women in certain sectors in order to give more examples and in order to also give more perspectives within, for example, a board that is to make decisions. Oftentimes, decisions are not necessarily made in a specific way out of corrupt intentions or something like that, but it's rather the fact that we have a very homogeneous group of people sitting somewhere, not reflecting on all the different aspects that may be relevant in order to take a certain decision. As soon as you have mixed teams, you simply have a larger variety of perspectives at the table, and that will immediately also mean that the decisions that are taken at that table will reflect also different dimensions of life that they affect, and will suit better the company and the needs of the employees. So I think that's the goal of legislation and regulation. It's not to dictate, but it is to improve a certain setting in order for it to work better on its own. So.
Благодарам, Мела. Сега ќе си...
Just
Comment?
one point. What Verica said is true. I also identified that males tend to employ males for 101 reasons. This is why we implemented in Evana since the last year and out of the engendering program so-called neutralized CVs, which means our HR is neutralizing the CVs of candidates for all personal data, and the responsible department only sees the qualification, not knowing whether it's male, female, married, not married, having children, even the age, they don't know.
I just wanted to add one small additional thing that sort of should wrap it up and not wrap it up, but make it easier. It's a straight-up business decision. There are several studies worldwide that show that boards of directors that have at least 30% women, those companies are more profitable than their competitors.
Благодарам многу. За крај, ќе си дозволам една голема слобода, што не е својствена за еден ваков панел и за еден ваков аудиториум, да го покарам човекот кој искрено реши овој панел да биде втор и да имаме ваков панел во Македонскиот енергетски форум. Тој е директорот, мојот колега господинот Миновски, да каже зошто овој панел е втор и зошто е ставен токму на овој Македонски енергетски форум. Повелете, директор.
Теста.
Добре, благодарам. Решивме панелот да биде втор, затоа што дамите секогаш имаат предност. Тоа е една работа, а втора, во делот на застапеноста на жените во компанијата каде што јас раководам, може да кажеме само дека председателот на надзорниот одбор, највисокото тело на компанијата е жена, Verica Uzunova. Во мојот кабинет тука е Добрила Стефановска, значи директор за финансиски работи, и може да кажам дека ова што компаниите каде што жените се повеќе застапени, се попрофитабилни, имаше некое значење, затоа што оваа година со директор жена успеавме да имаме 29 милиони евра добивка прв пат од постоењето на компанијата. Така да еве, жените се присутни. Благодарам.
Благодарам, директоре. Јас мислам дека со ова, во овој саатот тамо не е точен. Мислам со ова можеме да го завршиме вториот панел. Благодарам за присуството, благодарам на панелистите и се надевам дека ќе се видиме на конференцијата Жени во индустрија на 19 септември. Благодарам.